Hello, everyone. Welcome. On behalf of our board of directors and volunteers, welcome to BPDFest 2023. Emotions Matter is thrilled to present our second virtual conference during BPD Awareness Month, Breaking Boundaries for BPD. My name is Jillian, and I am the board chair of Emotions Matter. I was diagnosed with BPD in 2012, almost exactly 10 years ago. For me, receiving the BPD diagnosis was a relief. I felt like I had answers. Emotions Matter could not have come at a more perfect time in my recovery journey. I discovered there was a community of people just like me. I was not alone. This is my 6th year volunteering with Emotions Matter, and it has been truly life-changing for me. I'm inspired every day by Emotions Matter volunteers. So if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. If you're returning from one of our programs, it's so good to see you again. I'm located in the Chicago area. Please let us know in the chat where you're joining us from and what you're most looking forward to today. And while you're all getting to know each other, I'm going to proudly introduce you to Emotions Matter. Emotions Matter is a 501c3 nonprofit organization founded in 2015 to educate, advocate, and support people impacted by BPD. Our vision is to create a world in which every person with BPD has access to resources and support to achieve a meaningful recovery. Emotions Matter is a peer-run, family-run organization, and that means the majority of our board members and leaders are volunteers with lived experience of BPD as family or people personally affected. Emotions Matter offers BPD peer support online groups every month. This is our signature program. Since 2019, these groups have helped hundreds of people with BPD feel less alone, more connected, and hopeful about recovery. I'm proud to say that I was one of the original peer facilitators. I distinctly remember the first couple of groups I led. The very first group, there was just one person. I remember thinking, gosh, what if no one comes? Fast forward 3 years later, wow, was I wrong. There's such demand for the peer support groups. We've grown so quickly to meet that demand. We have 12 peer facilitators now, doing up to 8 groups a month. Each group has 20 or so individuals impacted by BPD. As you can see, pretty remarkable to see that kind of growth in just 3 years. I'm really looking forward to today and hope you all are just as excited as I am. You're in for a real treat. Our planning committee put together a wonderful program highlighting lived experiences in each panel session. And it is my hope today that you gain new knowledge, new perspectives, and most of all, new friends. Now I'd like to introduce our co-founder and executive director, Paula Tusiani-Eng. Paula received her master's in divinity from Union Theological Seminary in 2001 and her master's in social work from Adelphi University in 2014. She received her certificate in nonprofit management from Adelphi University in 2019. Paula is a co-author with her mother, Bia Tusiani, Remnants of a Life on Paper, A Mother and Daughter Struggle with BPD. She lost her younger sister, Paula, who suffered from BPD at the age of 23 in 2001. Paula's passion for BPD education, resources, and advocacy in her sister's memory to help others survive, thrive with BPD, with access to mental health care needed to achieve a meaningful recovery.
Thank you so much, Jillian. On behalf of our staff and volunteers, welcome to BPDFest 23. We are thrilled to present our 3rd virtual conference on breaking boundaries. It is a privilege to be with you here today and to lead an organization of volunteers passionate about promoting recovery through peer support, education, and advocacy. We could not do it without your vision and your leadership, and for that we are deeply grateful. No one appreciates how much Jillian truly does as our board chair for Emotions Matter, and it's an honor and a privilege to work with you and our board of directors. The theme of the conference is on breaking boundaries. When I co-founded Emotions Matter in 2015 with my partners, Rosa and Roya Navini, one of the first things that I did to stay abreast of BPD news is to subscribe to the BPD Google Alerts. I figured if we were going to start an organization to spread awareness about BPD, I better know what's happening in the news and in the field. So every day I get an email with daily news updates in which BPD shows up, and it gives me all the latest news of what's showing up in the news cycle. And as you can imagine, in the early years, the Google News alerts about BPD were often not good. Some days there was no news at all, and other days the news would feel more depressing than hopeful. News articles frequently focused on the outward negative aspects of BPD, people whose internal pain resulted in violence or crime, relationship breakups, or instability. Or the articles would sadly focus on the lives lost to suicide or overdose. In other words, the news cycle often perpetuated stigma without showing a more dimensional, compassionate, real-world understanding of BPD and its symptoms. But in more recent years, thankfully, there has been a cultural shift in attitudes about BPD. This signals that times are changing. What is causing this cultural tide to turn and bring more awareness and attention to BPD in the news with positive stories of hope and advocacy? I'm going to tell you, it's people with lived experience. We have seen more celebrities publicly disclosing their journey with BPD, like athlete Brandon Marshall and comedian Pete Davidson, and more recently, Good Morning America host meteorologist Ginger Z, to name a few. We have seen many actors, musicians, and artists courageously use their creative mediums to increase public understanding. Among these include the actress Madison Beer, Billy Lynn of the British band The Subways, musician Nessa Barrett. Tara Mooney recently released a film at the New York City Mental Health Film Festival about BPD, among many, many others. Beyond advocacy, we have also seen families and people with BPD participate in advocacy to bring more awareness, advocating for their treatment needs and for their loved ones who are suffering, or people who have sadly not gotten the care that they need and deserve. These are not just public figures or celebrities, but they are ordinary people who are using their lived experience to shape attitudes and literally change the way people are thinking about BPD. Together, they are creating more hopeful narratives about BPD. People with BPD are loving and empathic, compassionate toward others, and deeply passionate about causes. People with BPD are brilliant, talented, insightful, emotionally sensitive, which is positive. People with lived experience are boldly creating new narratives of hope and recovery by telling their stories. And I am deeply proud at Emotions Matter that we are part of this change. In our conference today, we will be talking about how people with lived experience are literally breaking boundaries. They are changing conventional understanding of BPD to create new paths of understanding. And they are advocating for social justice for traditionally marginalized, underserved populations within psychiatry. In the BPD space, there is a lot of talk about boundaries as being a healthy part of recovery to manage emotions and relationships. Boundaries are knowing about who you are, where you begin, and where another person ends. But boundaries are also dividing lines that can keep things separate. And BPD has long been put in a box and marginalized within psychiatry and within the larger mental health community. By speaking out and engaging in bold, fearless storytelling from the perspective of lived experience, people with BPD around the world are saying no more. They are indeed claiming their voice and asking for more representation in research, more access to treatment, and most importantly, more understanding. In this conference, Breaking Boundaries is about changing and challenging the conventional norms of what we know about BPD. And Emotions Matter is a place that we can nurture that and empower those voices to make the world a better place so that more people can recover. We have a plenary session this morning featuring 2 speakers forging new paths in social media. We have 4 exciting panels today: breaking boundaries in diverse communities, peer interventions, advocacy in the political domain and among healthcare professionals, and breaking boundaries through creative expression. Finally, we have a plenary about disability justice as a lens to understand where we've been and where we can grow to continue this most important work. I hope you thoroughly enjoy the conference today. I welcome you here. I hope you can connect with others and get involved. We'll be making some announcements later in the day and throughout the conference about how you can continue to connect with our Emotions Matter programs and community. We also hope that you'll consider making a gift, a donation, so that we can continue to provide these amazing programs like this conference with free access to people with lived experience. I want to thank all of our extraordinary volunteers and panelists and board members for giving up their time on this spring Saturday weekend to make this conference possible. I want to also thank our staff, London Harp and Casey Drum, board member Oliver McDonald, who has provided exemplary behind the scenes support. All of them have worked together like a fabulous team. We could not have made this conference possible without you. I want to thank our incredible sponsors who have generously covered the costs for this conference. They've made it possible for people around the world and the country to access free education about BPD and free support today, and we're grateful. In a special way, I want to thank our patron sponsors, New York Presbyterian Hospital and the Francesco and Mary Giambelli Foundation. I want to thank our diamond sponsor, the Karen Lerner Family Foundation. I want to thank PricewaterhouseCoopers, our platinum sponsors, along with Bo Ringer Ungelheim and the Colbeth Family Fund. I want to thank our gold sponsor, Silver Hill Hospital, and our silver sponsor, Mass General Brigham McLean Hospital, Sunrise Treatment Center, NEA BPD, and there are other sponsors that you can see at the scroll gallery to the right of your screen throughout the conference. Now I would like to turn it over to Emotions Matter Vice President Sara Rosenberg, who will give you more information about our virtual conference experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paula. I'm so excited to be here with everybody. So throughout today, we'll have choices of panels and conversation cafes that you can join. For a complete list of what is happening, click on the agenda or program tabs in the lobby. We will have a staff person in the lobby to answer any questions that you might have. So some announcements. To connect with others throughout the conference, you can click on your personal profile at the upper right corner of the screen to fill out your profile. If you'd like to connect with others at the conference, change your privacy settings to allow users to connect with you, and this is optional. If you choose My Interest keywords, people with similar interests can have the option to connect when you click on the conference attendees icon, which is in the green bar at the left of your screen. To get involved in special interest groups after the conference, there's a Google form you can fill out at the info desk, or it can be found in the handouts attached to each session. Closed captions will be offered at a conference this year during the plenary and panels. There is a CC closed caption box at the bottom right of your video. You can manually turn this feature off by hovering your cursor over the CC button. You can also visit the info desk for information about Emotions Matter, our publications, upcoming programs, and events. For technical support, you can ask questions in the chat box at the right of the screen, and one of our team members will assist you. There are free BPD resources available by link and download under the info desk each individual session. And now I want to review some community guidelines before we hear from our plenary speakers. And these guidelines will be reviewed during each session as well. So use respectful language in the session chat. Any inappropriate messaging, including harassment, bullying, or monopolizing the chat, will be deleted. We accept difference and promote acceptance, especially with regard to gender, identity, race, ethnicity, age, religion, disability, or politics. Avoid explicit expressions of self-harm or trauma, which may be upsetting to others. Panels and plenary sessions will be recorded and available after the conference. No screenshots or recording on personal devices. Questions during sessions should be asked using the Q&A box, not the chat. And you can notice that on the right-hand side, there's a chat tab and there's a Q&A tab. So chat is just for comments. Q&A we will take a look at and get your questions answered at the end. Now for some safety guidelines and disclaimers. If at any time during BPDFest 2023 you find yourself overwhelmed, struggling, or for any reason in need of support, we encourage you to reach out to your support system. Audience members may experience intense and painful emotions, feelings, memories, thoughts, and/or reactions to content shared. Participate at your own risk. You're also welcome to take a break from BPDFest 2023 at any time or withdraw from it entirely. In the event of a medical, including mental health emergency, please seek emergency care through the doctor, hospital, or emergency call number like 911 in the United States. Now, Emotions Matter is an organization that depends on the generosity of donors to offer conferences like this and peer programs at no cost to people with BPD in need of education and support. So if you are able and you like what you see today, consider making a gift. There's a donate button in the green bar at the left side of the panel, or you can click on the last tab in the lobby section. We also have swag bags available for sale, and you can find that in the Emotions Matter store button in the green panel at the left of your screen. Also very exciting, I encourage you to join us for our Walk for BPD that's coming up on June 4th. It's going to be in New York City and hybrid, so you can join us in person or virtually. It's going to be an incredible event, and we don't want you to miss it. For more information, check out the Walk for BPD 2023 button in the green panel at the left. Thank you again for joining and being a part of Emotions Matter. We hope you will enjoy every minute of this exciting event and can't wait to hear your feedback.